In this video, will you have a chance to see a little bit more in depth what it means when we talk about the referee's various areas of responsibility on the ice. As you see, when we have play in the end zone, there could be a lot of things happening around the ice on various different locations. This means that you as the referee will have to know where your main area of responsibility is at any given point. This is to make sure that the referees is not becoming puck watchers and watching the same situations and risking to miss situations happening around the ice. As presented in the movie about areas of risk, we know that things happening around the net is crucial for the game. Here we have to have a clear understanding of the various areas of responsibilities and how we as a team work together to cover as much of the ice surface as possible. In this situation, R1 gets pushed and ends up in a bad positioning, loosening his main area of responsibility in the end zone. In this situation, even though we have a given manual talking about who's responsible for what area throughout the game, R2 has to step in and find the right sightlines and support R1 in the area of responsibility where he is not capable of covering on the ice. The ultimate goal is that the referee covers as much as possible on the ice and preferably that they share this responsibility. But when a referee gets disconnected, it is important that the other referee is not led by prestige, rather having teamwork and support being the main factor to cover situations where R1 or R2 might be disconnected from their main area of responsibility. When we have the main areas of responsibility, we talk about entrance into the zone, play being maintained in the end zone, but also when play is leaving the end zone. In this example, you can see the importance of having a broad coverage of the ice. We have players down in the corner following through the situations, creating an area of risk where something could happen after that the player has played out the puck in the neutral zone. We also see the importance of the game officials to cover also when the exit from the end zone to the neutral zone happens, where we could have an area of risk where collisions or checks could be delivered with a high force and with players not being aware of incoming players. Areas of responsibility is something that is not written in stone. It's a basic guideline and starting point where every referee and game official crew should have their starting basic points in every game preparation and also basic procedures out on the ice. Let's get down to ice level and let's start with putting ourselves in the referee one's perspective. As we can see in this situation, R1 has the main responsibility at area 1 in front of the net, but also to be able to have a broad perspective, seeing other players outside the puck area coming in towards the area of responsibility. In this situation, R1 has the main responsibility to watch the players on the left side of the screen in front of the net, but also be able to catch players coming in towards that area of responsibility from the side. Here it's important that R1 does not get too puck focused and scared of missing out anything happening around the puck. Also, when play is transferring, moving around in the end zone, it is important that R1 reads play and act rather than react. In this situation, R1 ends up in a bad position and reacts rather than act prior to the puck coming towards him. When that happens, we can see that R1 gets pushed and what we call disconnected. R1 gets completely disconnected from his areas of responsibility and also on the players and the play happening in and around the net. This is of course a position where R1 or any referee would not like to end up in, but we know that referees will and can be disconnected several times throughout the game. The important part is to minimize those situations. In this case, R1 does the only thing that he can do is really to hustle to a new position to be able to take control again of the areas of responsibility that he has in this position. As play move out, you can see that white player chips out the puck, but where red player is delivering a check or is about to deliver a check. If R1 get too puck focused to see where play is transferring, it is easy that R1 is missing out on important situations that will happen when a player plays the puck and it ends up to another player. This is why we have two referees on the ice, where R1 that will become R2 can cover the entire ice behind the play, as R2 that becomes R1 takes the responsibility up in neutral zone. R1 in this case has to have cool and make sure that he or she maintains the overview of all the players before moving up towards the ice. Let's see the same situation, but now from R2's perspective. As you will note from the first clip to this clip, R2 has different angles into the play. This is the same play from a different angle and different sightlines. As you see in this clip, R2 has the main responsibility around the closest puck area. When you watch in towards the net, there are several players in between, and the sightlines for R2 to make a proper call in this situation in front of the net is very restricted. In this case, it is important that R2 have the main focus around the puck and leaves the remainder of the ice to R1 and the linespersons to cover. As play is transitioning into the ice after the shot, also the areas of responsibility is shifting. As we said earlier from the R1 perspective, in this situation, R1 gets pushed and gets disconnected from the area of play. This means that R1 is losing his area of responsibility and is not able to cover the ice where he is expected. This is where R2 have to step in and make sure that he takes part and takes over the areas of responsibility until R1 is no longer disconnected. When play is transitioning from end zone to neutral zone to the other end zone, it is really the key that R2 that becomes R1 use the feel for the game to find the proper position, to first see the delivery of the puck, but then also to catch other players that is moving up towards the ice and will become the players receiving the puck and initiating battle in the neutral zone or in the upcoming attacking zone. In this situation, it is important that R2 covers the ice where the players that will be initiated in the puck battle, rather than watching the players leaving the puck and delivering the puck up the ice. This is to be able to see the entire situation if there's any dirty plays or any checks up the ice. This is a great example where we can see how sharing the ice and sharing the perspective gives the game officials the best view on the situation where things can happen.